Well, good evening there, YouTube. It is the 29th of December. I am sitting in, I'm right outside of Indianapolis, Indiana, about 30 miles outside. Let's see here. I didn't talk to y'all last night. I didn't get any pictures of the load, pictures or video. I had to go help load 3 trailers over in Batavia, Ohio. Some presses, pretty heavy. One was very heavy, 96,000. The other one it's one big machine, but it's broken down into several parts. 3 large parts and some smaller parts. I want to say 4 or 5 smaller parts. But they had to put plastic on the trailer, and then they covered the machine with plastic. We had to put carpet over the sharp edges and all that kind of stuff. But one machine was 96, the other one was 56, and one was 38,000 pounds each. I carried 2 loads from Batavia over to our Indianapolis yard. Well, I carried one over earlier this morning, and I got one right now, the lighter one. I carried the 2 light ones. Somebody else carried the big one because it's heading on down to actually going to Mexico. And I'm not understanding that. Some reason I got a timer on my. I thought I cleared all my pictures out. But anyway, so that's what I did. I was whooped yesterday. Me and one of the co-workers. We dropped our trailers because he had to wait on permits. Plus, it was late when we left anyway. And so we got a hotel last night. Slept good. Got up this morning. Left there with the first load about 8 o'clock actually, 8 o'clock. Made it to Indy about 12. Yeah, about 12 o'clock. Left there about 12:30. Went back over. Got to Batavia about 3 o'clock. Left there about 3:30, and I came right here. Not too bad. Then once I get there in the morning, I get this truck cleaned out a little bit, vacuumed out and blown out or whatever, and then I'm gonna get me a rental car and I'm heading home. I got an appointment on the 3rd of January, and you folk crazy. On the 3rd of January, and my wife has one on the 4th, so I will be back here in Tampa around that time. By the time you get this, I'll probably be back on the road. But yeah, if I hit the road, I'll be home Friday. She's back in Florida Friday, the 31st. Happy New Year to you. I pray that, if last year wasn't great or good for you, that this year will be 2022. It was for me, and I look for better things in the year to come, with God in front and me behind. I know I said a couple of days ago I was going to talk to you about it. Well, I don't know if you all even know about it. This driver that over in Colorado, we got a lot of owner-ops, I think, are protesting going through Colorado because of the sentence he got for the crash he was involved in. I think he's 25-year-old guy. I think he was 23 years old when this accident happened. He was a very, very new CDL driver. And he was sent on a boo-boo run in the sense of he was not experienced enough for what he was doing. And all he was doing was driving, but he was in some high elevation, and I don't know what the grade is of that particular run, but from what I'm hearing, it's over between 7 and 10%. That's steep. That is doggone steep. And with 80,000 pounds, whether you got a truck like mine They can pull more, or brakes are brakes, and they will burn up. And if you don't know how to operate that vehicle, you shouldn't be going that way. It will make me squeeze the seat from what I'm hearing. And but they gave him a 110-year sentence. He killed 4 people. I think he hurt 6 others. You all can look up the facts on it. I'm just going off what I've heard. I mean, I've read a few things about it, but I hear a lot of drivers saying what they would have done in that situation. And I don't hear many of them talking about what they would have done at that year of experience that he had. Plus, he was, from what I'm hearing, he's an immigrant. Wasn't really didn't have a good command of the English language as far as reading or speaking. But like I said, I don't know this for fact, but just from hearsay, that part I really don't know. But they say he did have to have an interpreter once he was stopped. But there's video on YouTube about it. The way that you're supposed to properly negotiate something like that is whatever gear you're going in to go up, you need to be in that gear or lower, more and preferably lower going down. If you have Jake brakes or engine brake on your truck, you let that engine brake and the transmission slow you down, and you stay at about 1600 RPMs. You stab the brake, you don't hold it down. But if it gets too fast, you got 3 stages on your engine brake. If it gets too fast, you pull the engine brake down. I always keep mine in stage 2. I only use stage 3 when I have to. But I used to ride around with just stage 3 all the time. No really need to. But with a grade like that, I probably would have been using it. And I probably would have been going down about 20 miles an hour. And bump everybody else. But when I was in the military, we had those type of grades, and I was over in Germany, and we had similar grades, but we didn't have the automatic slack adjusters. We didn't have engine brakes on our trucks. I had a 5-ton, and you burn them brakes up if you want to. That's all you got, And if you drive a manual vehicle, try to go down a hill and downshift. You're in 5th gear or 6th gear, depending on the car you have, and you're going down a hill. You're rolling. You want to slow it down. You're gonna press those brakes. Hit that clutch and try to downshift. But as soon as you hit that clutch, it's gonna slow that clutch brake is gonna slow it down, slow your engine down enough, but your transmission is still rolling. So you got to slow that vehicle down now. Your RPM your transmission speed and your engine speed got to match up in order for it to get in. Even when you hit that clutch, it's got to match up. And you might be able to get it in at the very beginning, but if you let it go too long, you will not get that thing in there. You're gonna have to slow that vehicle down. And can you imagine with something this heavy doing that? And that's my problem when people say, "Well, this is what I would have done." At the experience you have now, that's what you would have done. Not at the experience that he had, And I feel for the guy. I'm not saying he should not take any responsibility, because he should, because you got your pre-trip, you got all those things, and most companies say that there's no such thing as a forced dispatch. But if you're a young guy and you try to keep your job, you feel forced to do it. And this company had a bad record. DOT record or whatever for the CSA score, I think. They had a lot of vehicle maintenance issues with brakes and all that kind of stuff. You set this guy up for failure, and he's taking the brunt of it. I don't know what's going on with the company, so that part I don't know. I just know we got truck drivers out here on the ops for the most part, I think, that are protesting going to Colorado and going to starve them out as best they can, or however you want to do it to get some. I don't blame them. But, I could listen to another truck driver say, hey, you do that on the ops. All they is opening that door for those mega carriers. But they're going to send them drivers in there. Because they got a load for you to do. There's no reason for you not to take it. And as far as the mega carriers are concerned, this right here happened a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. I know it was well before Christmas. So at this point, by the time you get it, it's gonna be a month out. There may be some decision made on it by now, or hopefully another decision been made on it. But I can't. I have a hard time with him getting 110 years. This kid is just barely in his 20s, same age as my kids, and his life is over. I mean, and you can look it up. Like I said, there are some YouTube videos of him flying down that hill. His brake, once he went over that hill and he wasn't in control of the vehicle, he passed a runoff ramp, and he was not able to slow that vehicle down. His brakes were gone. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 drums on that bad boy because it looked like an older vehicle of brakes, and they were burned up, just spongy, nothing. That's a scary feeling. I can't even imagine with that young man. I guess it's kind of hard to say whatever, but it could have been more people. I'm very glad it was only 4 people because he did what he could not to hit the folks there he went by, and you all see it on those videos. But just understand this trucking life. I mean, especially y'all young guys that come out here. It's easy for me to say don't feel pressured, but you got kids, and you got wives and husbands and commitments and responsibilities. And one thing about trucking, once you get used to making a certain kind of money, it's hard to go back to doing something else. I can't imagine what I would do right now. I mean, I can go to an office. I can run a company. I have background in that. Background in field. Or whatever. But for a lot of, but I wouldn't make the same money I'm making. I wouldn't even make half the money I'm making. So therefore, I'm not stuck, but I like what I do too. Y'all just be careful out here, man. This trucking life ain't no joke. It is a lifestyle. It is you can't be set up to fail by your companies, because initially every part of this job is on the driver, whether you are owner, op, down to a company driver, like I am. I get out here and I know that these brake lights, these brakes are not right, lights not right, I'm leaking oil, leaking air, and I go through that weigh station, or I just get a doc on DOT inspection on the side of the road, and that stuff is not correct. I can have that tire could have just popped a leak. So the driver, not to get it fixed, or you would get a citation saying that this vehicle is on the road improperly. That's your vehicle maintenance, or my log book, my EOD, and which is easier now, but you can get some violations on those things, and it goes on your CSA record, and which basically is a scorecard you get saying how good of or bad of a driver you are as far as keeping up with your paperwork and your vehicle maintenance and your log book and your physical body and all these. It's so much. It is so much. I got cameras in here and all that kind of stuff. I run a red light, I get a phone call. They don't really see the real life situation going on. All they see is I ran a red light. So in saying all that, it's rough out here. It comes naturally to me right now, but if you brand new to this thing, it could run you ragged. It could run you ragged, man. And we do everything. The most natural thing we do is drive, but we have so many distractions while we're driving that we have to deal with before we drive, while we drive, and after we drive. You gotta do a pre-trip. You can do all this driving all day long. You gotta get out and look at this truck at the end of the night. make sure you have sprung a leak. I got a doggone my condenser is out on my truck. It just happened. I don't know if a bird hit or what. All I know is the simple fact remains I don't have an AC. It's so technical out here. If I pull into a weigh station and get a DOT inspection or whatever, and my windshield washer fluid is out, and I don't have a spare bottle with fluid in it, that's a citation for me. Just that simple. And it could be dry as a bone or wet as all get out. But if I don't have, golly, he close. No, yeah, I guess he's not that close. But anyway, but if I don't have, some stuff in this truck, if I don't have spare light bulbs and spare trailer light bulbs, if I don't have DOT tape on the back of my truck, that's a problem. I can get fined for that. A citation, and it goes on my, so y'all just be careful out here. But y'all keep being good. Understand that life is good. It's what you make it. It's what you make it. It's what you make it. I'ma get off here. I catch you all tomorrow sometime before I hit this road going home. Y'all like, share, subscribe, comment if you like, or not. I don't really know none of this. I just like my cousin Raymond was, I was telling him I do a lot of this for my grandkids so they can see my face and my family, and to see where I am and how I'm, doing and all that kind of stuff. So other than that, I don't do this for anything else. It's therapy for me at the end of the day. But anyway, y'all be good, and remember, the truth will be told. G-Put out.